Hello. We're up. We're live. Okay, so we're doing something a little different. First off, let me I know I could copy and paste the link, but I feel like it's better to not do that. I don't know. It feels more important, has more gravitas, which is a word that I need to stop using so much, to be honest with ya. But anyways, okay. I'm going to move my chat window, maybe? Hold on. Okay. Okay, there we go. There you go. That's what we like to see. Okay. Nope, that is I just opened my taskbar and expanded it. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Anyways, hey, I actually have some music. Holy crap. Yeah, you thought this was going to be so boring? I got music. And apparently it's royalty free. So if it's not royalty free, please you know, ignore that. Um just in case it is royalty free, let me actually start recording this as well. All right. So, first of all, this video says to credit Carl Casey at Whitebat Audio. Let me actually send the link into the chat. And there you go. That is the person that is doing this music, apparently. But I don't know, maybe it's because synthwave sounds the same, but it sounds a lot like Perturbator, which is one of my favorite synthwave artists, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, it does sound quite similar to that. CD Dodger, welcome in. How's it going? We're doing a tier list for Saw today. Let me actually... Oh shoot, but if I... Hold on. Did that change the window for you guys? Yeah. Yeah, it did. Huh. That's a tricky issue. Because I need to see the chat, obviously, right? Adam! Welcome in. How's it going? Your cats are so cute. I was scrolling through your Twitter. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, SP right now is currently in a 3-week she's in a 3-week I don't know what the word is. I can't concentrate with music, so you guys can listen to the music. I'm not going to. It's a 3-week confinement because she just got her leg checked out, and she just needs to be there for 3 weeks. Oh no! I've never subbed to anyone before. Crispy! Ishmael! Jasmine! Did it not work? It should have. What the heck? It did add a sub. Oh no. Did it not do it? I'm so sorry. It did? Oh, okay. So wait. Did the sound go off? Cause I just realized I muted it, so. Oh shoot, that's gonna be rough. Oh yeah, 3-minute Minecraft mess. That's right, I forgot to say. We're doing a little bit of a subathon today. It's something that I'm very uncomfortable with, but I thought it would be fun. So every sub will get 3 minutes of a Minecraft mask. So I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. Give me a second. Thank you so much, Adam, for the sub. I don't know why it didn't show it. Not sure why that was doubling over. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Shoot. This is new to me. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. 3 minutes in the Minecraft mask. Okay. Oh god. Okay. Ow. Oh, jeez. This is rough. My nose hurts. It's okay though. It's worth it. The pain, it's worth it. Set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay. The timer has been set. It's 3 minutes, 2 minutes 52, but you know, it's the same. It's basically the same thing. I'm sorry that it didn't do anything. I'm sorry. But thank you. You finally set up your Prime thingy. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can hear me okay in this mask. You know, I think I actually need to set up my iPad to do the chat stuff because I just realized I can't actually see the chat when I'm doing the tier maker unless I want to resize the windows, and I'm too lazy for that. Face ID. For some reason the Face ID isn't actually working, so I gotta type in my passcode. But anyways, okay, my nose is itching. That's great. I love it because you can't really itch your nose when you're in here. That's okay. All right, my channel, and then my thing. And for a limited time, subscribe for 5+ months and get 1 extra month only on iOS devices. Okay, that's interesting. Oh my god, it looks so weird me using the iPad. Oh, look at all the Pokemon! Ah! Look at all those. Scizor, Blastoise, Sceptile, Garchomp, Aegislash, Braixen, Mewtwo, Pikachu, Weavile, Gengar, Croagunk, Gardevoir, Machamp, Charizard, and Blaziken. Wow, that is a ton actually. Holy crap. I guess I'll just put you guys on my lap, maybe. I mean, should I just put you up here? I can't read it up there. Jesus. Okay, I thought I was prepared today. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, now how much time? We got 30 seconds left on the mask. I love Aegislash, probably my favorite. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I don't really hear of people loving him. Not that he's not loved, I just... Usually when I hear people talk about their favorites, it's like Charizard or Pikachu. What others? This actually works, I think. Okay, I like that. But it's gonna take a while. I'm sorry, Aspen. She usually leaves the room when I stream because I don't think she likes to hear my voice constantly, but that's okay, honey. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. What's the timer looking like? I think it's probably over. Yeah. So it's coming off, everybody. I'm sorry. Ugh. My goodness. It's like a whole new world out here. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much for the sub, Adam. I appreciate it. Okay, let's look at our... You know what? I can just do this, can't I? Oh, yeah, that works. Let me put on my glasses, though, because I can't read. You gotta do the old person thing. Pokemon. I love Aegislash, probably my favorite. There we go. Okay. We're good. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna start our tier list thing with the most basic one, the Saw movies tier list maker. Where we're ranking all the Saw films from 1 to Spiral and 3D, which is not a Saw film. So, first off, let me do a preamble. If anyone's unaware, I am a superfan, obsessed superfan of Saw. It is my favorite media franchise of all time. I love everything about it, except for 3D. That'll be a running theme, if you're wondering. And I don't know, it's always been a part of my life since 17 years ago. We're going on 18 years. Better not be too controversial with opinions, unlike me, apparently. Yeah, you had some hot takes that are definitely not going to be on here. Hopefully. My takes will probably be a little hot. I don't know. We'll see. The first Saw film... Yo, baby. We're having a slow blink contest. I think she won. It's very cute. Since the first Saw film, I've been into filmmaking because when I watched it, not so much, but it blew my mind the first time I watched it because the twist was so incredible. It was the first time my mind had been blown by something. And it wasn't the first, you know? I love movies with twists, I think everyone does, but the Saw films in particular, their twists are second to none, in my opinion. They're pretty fantastic for that. I find the films to be not just about gore and blood. A lot of people dismiss the series as just like gore porn or torture porn. I don't really see it that way, except for 3D. I think that the films have... It's just amazing how they have all these different storylines, all these different characters, character motivations. It's like this web of several different narrative strands that come together in a way that's cohesive. It's convoluted, yes, but in a good way, in a way that I think is thrilling, and it leads to some absolutely satisfying conclusions, as long as you don't mind that none of the movies end on a happy note. But when I first saw the first film, when I got the DVD for it, I should say, I saw it in theaters, I think on October 31st. I snuck in with my sister and a friend of mine, and we snuck in. We bought tickets to Ray, the one with Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles. I, to this day, have never seen Ray, and I don't think I ever will because it adds to that mystical element. But we snuck into it, and it was an amazing experience. But then I got the DVD, I listened to the commentary, I looked at the behind-the-scenes stuff, and I suddenly got this love of movies. It just kind of jolted me awake. It's like, I love movies, and ever since then I have been studying and researching, going deep into movies and what makes them tick. So, Saw, there's a lot of stuff to say about it. That being said, I don't know if the first film is the best movie in the franchise. I will put it in the S tier because it's the first. It's admittedly probably the best made of the franchise in terms of filmmaking integrity. The first film is much more of a slow burn. They leave a lot, not, I don't know if they leave a lot to the imagination, but they leave more to the imagination than the other films in the franchise. But it laid the groundwork for the story elements, how everything eventually comes together. And obviously it has the traps, but the traps take much more of a back seat to the film than the rest of the franchise. But it is an excellent film, and it does deserve to be at the top, but it is not my favorite. Saw 2, I'm going to put... This might be a really boring tier list, actually. Because Saw 2... I don't know. So, it's an amazing sequel in that it builds on what the first film brought to the table, makes it more bombastic, it's more frenetically paced, and it was the basis upon which the rest of the series, the feel of all the movies, would eventually take on. It's very fast-paced, quick editing, and there are a lot of traps that have multiple people in them. I think Saw 2 is what really kicked that into high gear. The first Saw, obviously you have Adam and Dr. Gordon, that's multiple people, but I think Saw 2 is the first one to really run with so many people. And I realize now that I don't know. First film is definitely S tier. Yes. For no other reason than Lee Winnell, obviously, right? Just kidding. I know it's a great movie. It's Saw 2 is a great sequel in that way. It takes everything from the first one that really worked, and it adds a faster pace. And the twist that it had the twists that it has were fantastic. I think it also brought along the idea that every movie near the end would have just tons of twists. I think the first film, they had some little twists throughout, and then obviously the major one at the end. In Saw 2, they kind of just hammer in the twists in the third act. It's crazy. And I think the rest of the movies definitely took a cue from that. So I would say it's A tier. I took a while to love it, but I now understand how it could be considered a perfect sequel. Saw 3 is S tier. I just love the whole journey that Jeff takes to learn how to forgive. Now, as we know, it doesn't actually end that way, but I like the idea that he is being taught to forgive, and he's given the chance to save the lives of these people that he at first has an animosity towards because of their lack of assistance in taking down the man that killed his child. Also, I probably should say that this will be spoiler-filled. I don't want to keep dancing around spoilers. I think that would be antithetical to the conversation. But Saw 3, I love Jeff's journey. I love the idea that Lynn has to keep John Kramer alive. I love the shotgun collar trap where if his heart rate goes below a certain amount, her shotgun collar will go off. And of course I love the melding of the stories at the end when you find out that Jeff is actually Lynn's husband and vice versa. Lynn's not Jeff's husband. So that vice versa doesn't work there. But it adds to this Shakespearean tragic ending that is still to this day one of the most powerful endings of the series, I think. Shit hits the fan a lot in the series, but I think Saw 3 is the most pure example of that It's the most pure example of that. I love Saw 3. Um, the pig vat trap I could go without, but the emotion in that scene is fantastic. I will save those kinds of comments until we get to the traps, I would say. But I really like Saw 3. It's iconic, and it's absolutely S tier. Saw 4, I'm going to put in the A tier because it wasn't as tight as Saw 3. It definitely felt like it was written by different people. But I think that the writers that were brought in, so the first three films, Saw 1 was written by Lee Winnell, Saw 2 was co-written Lee Winnell and Darren Lynn Bousman. Lee Winnell wrote off of a script of Darren Lynn Bousman. I think Darren Lynn Bousman's script was the Saw 2 house, and then Lee Winnell was brought in to connect it all to the Saw franchise. And then Saw 3, I think, was all Lee Winnell. Saw 4, 5, 6, and 3D were done by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan. Saw 3 laid a couple threads for those writers to take and expand the universe with. And I think, given that task, they did a great job of expanding the lore and making Saw 4 fit within the franchise. I think it also helped that we had the same director as Saw 2 and 3, Darren Lynn Bousman. I think his direction definitely helped meld it more, and I think that having characters like Rig and Carrie come back, and Eric, unfortunately, I think that that worked so much to blend it with the franchise. But it is a little rougher. I do think the pacing has some issues, but I really like it. I like the idea that Rig is being put through these tests to see how Jigsaw thinks, because that is a vital component of the franchise. Is you have to know how he thinks in order to understand all these traps. I'm not saying you have to empathize with him, but it was an interesting idea to take a cop that's been pursuing Jigsaw, making him see Jigsaw as more than just a serial killer with no motivation. Completely agree. Lee himself said you see a completely different approach from Saw, directed by James Wan, than the second, which was directed by Darren, but was said that Darren's style is much more hyper and James is more stoic, but like I've definitely misquoted. No, I doubt you've misquoted. I think that makes sense. Thank you for that, actually. And the time twist in Saw 4 was amazing. I loved it. My mind was blown when in Saw 4 you see Jeff and it's like, wait a second, what's going on here? So I really like that. Also, something great about Saw 4 is it introduces Peter Strahm, who was my favorite character of the franchise. Still is. We'll get to him. So I would put it in the A tier. Saw 5, I'm going to put in the B tier. Out of the first 6 films, Saw 5 is always the bottom tier for me. It was directed by David Hackle. They got a new director. David Hackle, up to that point, had been production designer from Saw 2 through 2, 3, and 4. I don't think he worked on the first one. But he was put in the director's chair, and it was a lot slower paced. But not in a way that was like... not in a way that contributed to... a stellar atmosphere and a lot of time to have like introspection and stuff. It wasn't that kind of slow pace. It's not a slow burn in that way. It's slow paced in a way that is it feels like they didn't really know how to make it exciting. They have the two stories going on. You have the cat and mouse chase with Strom and Hoffman. You have the 5 is 1 trap games that goes through, which even that seems slow paced. Something that's really weird about Saw 5 is whenever I think about it, I usually forget about the 5 as 1 traps because they felt so insignificant, and that story in general felt so unnecessary. Um, Someone said that, oh, it was necessary for Hoffman to frame Strom. Okay, fair, but he ended up not even. They ended up figuring it out later that it wasn't him, so I don't really understand the point of the 5 as 1 traps, except to try and inject more energy into the film. Because if the film were just Hoffman and Strom chasing each other, I think it would be by far the most boring horror film I've ever seen in my life. Uh, that being said, I do like it. I like the traps. I love the saw blade trap at the end. I like the message that if we all work together, we can win without dying. I love that message. And the special effects in the blade scene are great. And I also learned what tracheotomies are, and I learned how to do a tracheotomy from the film. So in that sense, it's a very educational film in the franchise for me. Now, bit of an elephant in the room on this one, but when I first saw Saw 5, it was at a marathon with a bunch of friends from high school. After school, we all went. I dressed up as Amanda, and I I remember all these people in school knew me as the Saw kid. They just knew me as that because I would go around school whenever a new Saw movie would come out. I'd put like posters all over the school. I'd handwrite them. I'd put them in the bathroom, and I would like carry around screenshots of the films on my backpack and binders. Appropriate screenshots, nothing like the aftermath of the rack in Saw 3 or anything. Specifically, I do remember one time when Saw 2 came out, I was so happy when I came in after opening weekend and I heard people talking about it. This one kid in particular was like, yeah, and at the beginning it's like this mask and it closes and oh my god, it's so cool. And I was so elated to hear that these people were enjoying it and talking about it, and it was great. Anyways, we had the marathon, and it was Saw 1 through 4, and then the premiere of Saw 5. So obviously, I was so excited. Everyone was there, and then Saw 5 happened, and Peter Strahm, my favorite character, someone I was obsessed with, I even named my Facebook account after him, he dies in what I considered the most horrifying death of the series, but that might have been my own bias. I was so distraught that I was crying. I had to hold back the tears a little bit, but people at the end of the movie, they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No." And like in those moments on my way home when I was in a deluge of tears questioning I was questioning my love of the franchise. It was such a gut punch. I hated it. But then, a week later, I went to the theater and gave it a second shot. And I loved it so much. Now that it wasn't as shocking, I loved it so much that I went around, I bought a ticket straight to the next showing. And it was... So over time, I ended up loving it. However, it has had a little bit of a reverse effect. Since I've become more enamored with the technical merits of filmmaking, I do see a lot of issues with it, and the pacing really is hard to ignore, so it has kind of gone down to the bottom of the list, but it's a very small margin between B and A tier for me. Peter Strahm, yeah, or the aftermath of Jill's dream in Saw 3D. Oh god, that would... Oh man, if I were carrying that around school... Thankfully, Saw 3D came out after my high school, but that was bad. That was such a brutal death. Are you talking about Peter Strahm? Or Jill? Jill's dream. Okay, now it's getting fun. Saw 6. Absolutely S tier. It is my favorite of the franchise. I think that they took some real world elements about insurance companies and The idea that they're getting this guy who's an insurance salesman or insurance person who doesn't really see people for who they are. He sees them instead as numbers. Like, should I let this person die because I don't give them coverage? It's a little embellished there, but they don't see the people as people because he's not connected to them. But in this movie, they do a good job of making him see that, oh wow, all these people that I'm denying healthcare coverage for, all these people I'm putting at risk of dying, these are actual human beings with families, with hearts, souls, personalities, and it does such a great job of showing that to him throughout. And the moral quandaries of every trap are still so effective now, like questioning, like, who would I save? Do you save the woman who's lived a long, healthy life but would leave behind a lot of devastated family, or the guy that doesn't have any family who's just starting his life? He has such a huge life ahead of him. It's that kind of moral quandary that I love that. The carousel trap is one of the best in the franchise because of that as well, and we'll get to that too. Saw 6 is a fascinating film, and it's also the most effective one, I think, in the franchise. It was directed by Kevin Greuter, who is, he was up to that point the editor for every film in the franchise, and he did such an incredible job with it. It also has my favorite trap of the franchise, the oxygen trap. Again, we'll get to that. And it has a twist. It has so many twists and turns, more than any up to that point, I think. And they're all effective. To me, they all work, including the one enormous twist that has to do with Amanda, how she was blackmailed by Hoffman, and that's why she killed Lynn. That part was mind-blowing. It didn't just twist around this movie, it twisted around the whole franchise, and I thought that was incredible. And like Jill finally getting the comeuppance that John Kramer wanted by putting Hoffman in that trap, and even Hoffman getting out of the trap, just showing how vicious he is, how determined he is to stay alive, how much of a psychopath he is. It really established that, and that was great. And William Easton, I think more than any other character in the franchise, really had a change of heart. You could see that he changed. He wasn't just begging at the end because he wanted to stay alive. He was begging because he felt he deserved to stay alive, because he had learned his lesson. Being told to kill your closest co-workers, and showing him the value of human life. You could see it, and that's what makes the ending also very tragic. Pigeon, welcome in. Oh, I don't have a follow age command, I don't think. If you're on the browser, I think you can click your name and see when you started following. Those traps in Saw 6, mwah, masterpiece. Yes, most of the traps in Saw 6 are fascinating. I mean, fantastic. The only one I don't love is the pound of flesh trap. I think that trap, the way it was done, the trap idea itself is good. The execution, no pun intended, and especially the woman that plays Simone, her acting, it takes it down a peg. When I first was watching the film, actually, the pound of flesh trap, I did not like it at all, and I was scared that that was an omen of the rest of the movie. Thankfully, no. The rest of the movie is fantastic. So, absolutely S tier. I'm on mobile? Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm seeing if I can tap on your name. View info? No. Okay, never mind. I guess I can't look. I apologize. Let's see. Okay, so next up is Saw 3D. I can't, like, I can't even put it on the list. It is atrocious. Everything that the franchise had built up to that point was completely eschewed in favor of a senselessly gory, senselessly violent movie, um, that I'll admit had some good ideas. Um, I think the concept of someone lying about being in a saw trap for clout was a great idea, and I think that they were trying to do a hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil thing with the traps that Bobby has to go through, but it fails completely. Um, the movie has an overwhelming feeling of misogyny. It's not that women haven't died brutal deaths in the other films, it's just alongside them, the men also died brutal deaths. I never got the feeling in the other films that, oh my god, the people that made this hate women. But in Saw 3D, that goes out the window. I mean, the first trap, the you have just one big slut shame, and it's just horrible. And of course, at the end of the trap, the two men overpower her, bonding over her promiscuity. Um, Not to mention she's dressed in a very provocative outfit, very unnecessarily provocative outfit. I hate that. I think the women in the movie by far die the worst deaths in general. Um, Maybe with the exception of one of the racists who has the car hooked up to his arms and his mouth. That's pretty rough, but the rest of the women, like the woman that's under the car as it spins the tires and she gets her face flattened. Um, you have uh, Nina, who is she has to have the fish hook pulled out from her stomach. That's awful. Not to mention in that scene also at the end, he's like, "Why won't you just shut the fuck up?" Uh, and then the other lady that gets her rod, she gets rods stuck in her eyes. Not just her eyes though, also her mouth, which I thought was extremely unnecessary. I feel like the eyes would have been sufficient. And Kale, he's another guy. He dies by hanging. Like, comparatively, that death is so tame. Um, and I don't know. The biggest offense to me was also the Jill. Jill, at the end of the last film, she was very empowered, and in the beginning of the set of 3D, she is cowering in fear, running around, crying, doesn't know what to do. She doesn't rely on her own strength to get past anything, partly because they don't write any strength into the movie for her. She's just cowering. She relies on the men to protect her. It's a terrible, terrible character shift. And she also dies twice in the movie. She doesn't die just once, she dies twice. And apparently, during the film, during the production, there were a couple people on the production that had just broken up with some people, and I think they used that film as a way to process that, and it shows. Um, I also think that there are so many traps in the movie, and they don't have much of a moral thing going on. Uh, there, the idea with Saw 3D was that it was going to be a two-part finale. I've talked about this many times, where it would be Saw 7 and Saw 8 in this huge finale. And my understanding is that since Saw 6 performed so terribly commercially at the box office, they pivoted and decided, okay, let's actually just make one finale, but we're going to take all the traps from both scripts and shove them into one movie, and then take a skeleton of the story from them and put it into one movie. And it just, all of this time, I was defending Saw. I was saying it's not about the gore. It's not about, it's so much more than just the traps and the gore. But Saw 3D, unfortunately, vindicated those that doubted me, because it really does feel like it's not much more than a movie where you can enjoy the gore, and like there's nothing else to enjoy in it. It's a terrible excuse for a Saw film. I hate it so much. It had some interesting concepts, but they were done terribly, and the Dr. Gordon thing at the end felt so shoehorned. Apparently, the original story with Dr. Gordon was that at the end he would appear, and then the next movie would be about him chasing down Hoffman or something. I think that was the idea. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. We got what felt like a very shoehorned twist. To say that Dr. Gordon was an apprentice all along. It felt like it was catering to all the people that just thought, oh, it's Dr. Gordon's, he's alive. I'm a little salty about it because I was one of the people that was like, no, he's not. And then other people were like, yes, he is. And then those people won. It's fine. I'm not mad anymore. Something very interesting with Saw 3D is that a while back, Saw 2 came out, right? And there's a part when you see how Michael got the key put in the back of his eye. You see that. And the person that does it has a little limp. And in the director's commentary, he says that was not meant to be a clue that it's Dr. Gordon doing it. It is just, he added it for flavor, a little flavor. And that's what I told everyone from that point forward. They were like, well, what about in Saw 2 when he limps on the camera? Like, that has to be Dr. Gordon, right? And I was defending, I was saying, no, the director said that it was just a cameo, nothing more. And then in Saw 3D, they retcon that and they show that it was Dr. Gordon. I was so pissed. I actually yelled at the screen, motherfucker! I was so mad. I was so mad. Oh my god, I'm still mad. Apparently I'm still very pissed. Anyways, Saw 3D is a piece of shit. We're not putting it on the tier list. It doesn't even deserve to be on there. It's fucking bullshit. I hate that movie so goddamn much. Oh my god. Huh. Alright, now Jigsaw, I would say, is C tier. Saw made Mortal Kombat look normal. Yeah. Yes, it did. Dr. Gordon, I'm still salty about it, to be honest. I'm so sorry. And sorry about not reading messages while I'm doing these rants. I get very passionate, and I want to make sure all the words get put out there. So Jigsaw, all the hatred I just showed for Saw 3D, the Saw community has more of a hatred for Jigsaw, I think. And I think it's entertaining enough. I've always said it's an entertaining movie, but only if you treat it as a side story fan fiction of Saw. Because they try to do some things to the timeline that don't work. They add another apprentice. And the whole new apprentice thing, it's been done so many times. And it's not that it's been done so many times, that repetition. It's more that it's causing so many issues with the timeline to have another apprentice. Like, it's just already Dr. Gordon's reaching, because it's like, well, how did Hoffman and Amanda not know of his involvement? But now it's like, how do they not know about Logan? Oh, because he was written to be done after he made the bear trap. Okay. But, like, what? I don't get why you're not getting Thank you. I hated the other apprentice thing. Yeah. It doesn't work. And it makes it... I don't know, man. Like, they make it seem like with Saw 2, we discovered he tried to drive himself off a cliff with a car. He tried to die because he got a cancer diagnosis. In Saw 4, they add in, oh, well, also his kid was, Jill had a miscarriage, and so that pushed him even further off the edge. But in Jigsaw, I don't really see in the timeline how Logan could have, like, I don't see how he could have, I don't see how it works with Logan. It's so weird. August 24th is when Pigeon started. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Adam. Yeah, and then there's also the fact that in the Traps and Jigsaw, when we're following the people from 10, was it 15 years ago? 10 years ago? I think it's 10 years ago. He has flat screen TVs, flat screen high definition TVs. He has a Billy the Puppet that's animatronic, that has light up red eyes. The traps are very elaborate, and in a Saw mythology sense, that doesn't work for me, at least, because the thing with Saw is that the traps get more elaborate as the movies go on, and I think it's assumed that the traps, he just becomes more elaborate as time goes on. It started so primitively with Cecil, and eventually we got to like the big game in Saw 6, and Jigsaw, it kind of does away with that idea. It says, oh, actually he's been doing really elaborate traps from the very beginning. I don't know where Jigsaw fits in the timeline with all these things. It's so frustrating. Not to mention, the acting is terrible from most people. The dialogue is bad. This was not a movie written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan. It was written by Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger. And the dialogue was, some of it was so bad. And it's also the worst movie in the franchise in terms of contrivances. Usually, I'm not great at analyzing stories or narratives. Why someone... Like, how could someone do this when this was happening? Like, I'm not usually very good at that, but with Jigsaw, I was able to come up with so many different things. Like, why would stabbing someone with a needle break open all the chains? Why? I don't understand that. How does the saw blade know when blood has entered it? How... oh my god. And also, how does John Kramer know about the guy that sold his nephew a broken motorcycle? How does he know that the guy didn't know that already? Also, why would his nephew just sit in the middle of the road with a motorcycle just to get hit by a truck? I think, honestly, maybe he should have tested his nephew, because his nephew's a fucking idiot. You're just gonna sit there in the road. Like, what? Anyways. And then, how would you know that there was a story about how your neighbor's husband accidentally suffocated your baby, and how would Jigsaw know that it was actually you that suffocated the baby and you framed him? What the fuck? Also, why would you frame him? Why? They didn't really... Did they discuss that? Did they say anything about how their marriage was fucked up and how she wanted to frame him? That was so bizarre. It was really weird to me. I hated the Logan helped John with the reverse bear trap. Made me so upset. Yeah, it's so unnecessary. It's like in Han Solo when they... Or sorry, when they... In Solo, A Star Wars Story. When they... Huh. That was a little delayed. But, there we go. Thank you, Adam. 4 months. I want to shout out Lee Winnell while I have my spotlight. I'm sure he appreciates it. It's like in Solo, A Star Wars Story, when you learn about where he got those dice. The dice that he saw, that you see in this Star Wars movies, I think once, for like 10 seconds. That was weird. Anyways, the reverse bear trap origin thing reminds me of that. So, it adds a lot of problems to the timeline. But, again, I still think that it is an entertaining enough movie. It also has Eleanor Bonneville, who is beautiful. I love her. Not just because she's beautiful, but because she's awesome. I love her trap collection, and I love the scene where they're in her lair. Not just because the song Baptism plays, which is my favorite song, that's from Saw 3. That's actually the song that plays when people um, follow me. It also was just really cool as a Saw fan to see all these traps. It might have been a little forced, but I thought it made sense in the context of her being a super fan. One missed opportunity that I was very frustrated by was that Eleanor did not end up being a different character. I thought that it would have made a lot of sense if you adjusted the timeline a little bit, which they had no issue doing, so I have no idea why they didn't do this. But if they adjusted it a couple years, I think it would have made perfect sense that Eleanor was actually Corbett from Saw 3. Corbett was Jeff and Lynn's daughter who was locked away in a place that we don't know about um, in Saw 3. They never actually went anywhere with that. It was kind of like, oh, okay, now she's saved because Hoffman brings her out in Saw 5. Um, that was that's one thing I don't like about the second trilogy, 4, 5, and 6. There were there were a couple things in Saw 3 that didn't really land. They didn't lead to anything, and that was one of them. It was the I guess that's the only thing I can think of that didn't lead to anything. Um, I'm not sure how they'd be able to do it, but they they could have. They could have done something with Corbett, but they didn't. Um, but I thought it would have made a lot of sense that Corbett, she was traumatized by being held captive in Saw 3, and Eleanor was her name given to her from the Witness Protection Program or something. And some people process trauma in different ways. And I think that there are some people that instead of fearing that which attacked them, they become enamored with the idea of it and they become obsessed with it. That has happened before, and I think that it would make sense for Corbett to have done that, and it would have made sense for Eleanor to be Corbett. I thought that would have been so interesting. It would have connected Jigsaw uh, in the only good way to the franchise, but no. Anyways, entertaining movie, terrible Saw movie. Same with Daniel, though. Mm. Mm-hmm. Are you saying like he could have been uh could have what are you saying? I'm sorry. Um Spiral, the most recent Saw film. Originally, I put it in D tier. Next time I watched it, put it in B tier. I gotta be honest, it's still B tier. Um, the first time I watched it, I didn't appreciate that they used a real world, uh, very fresh controversy to fuel the main character's intentions, or the villain's intentions. I just mean they went nowhere with him. Oh, well, I mean, he was in Saw 2, though. Like, he was in the entirety of Saw 2, and um, so he had more of a he had a purpose in that sense. I don't, in my opinion, I don't think John Kramer intended Daniel to die. I think he really wanted Daniel to live, and it's just that Eric had to sit there and wait. Whereas in Saw 3, with Corbett, John is like, if you want to find you, you're gonna have to play a game, and that gives me the idea that, oh, okay, so the next movie they're gonna have him trying to find Corbett or something, but then it leads to nothing. That's that's what I'm saying. I scared you there for a second. um, I didn't like the way they tried to take a real world tragedy, like, and put it into the movie and tell us like a message. It's not just telling a story; it's trying to send a message. I didn't like that at first, but I still thought the ending was very effective. Um, when I watched it a second time, I actually softened up quite a bit on the intentions of it. I thought it was very good. It was well done in that sense. I do still have a lot of issues with it. First of all, it doesn't really feel like a Saw film. It has traps, but it doesn't feel like a Saw film. I think the tapes are overly blatant with their messaging. It's like, now you are the one that's going to be railroaded when he's on a train track. Like, that's not clever. It's very not subtle. You could explain away, oh, it's because Shank wasn't, he's not Jigsaw. He doesn't know what he's doing. He blah, blah, blah. But no, it's just bad writing. I don't like it. I think that the ideas were good. The dialogue to send the ideas was bad. Also, Chris Rock, in a couple parts, I didn't like him. And I do think it feels a little choppy, but that's probably because they're trying to get it down to an R rating. Time to get railed. I don't have anything to say to that. The new Jigsaw voice is bad too. I've softened up on that as well, but not because I like it, more that it's just so easy to do. Hello, Detective Banks. I want to play a game. It's so bad. Anyways, it was terrible. So, yeah. But also, there's some really bizarre reaction shots between Fitch and Krause. Fitz and Krause. That's, I don't know why that sounds funny. I thought those reaction shots were weird. The acting from most people in it are not good. Is not good. But it's decent. I think that it is a decent film that, unlike Jigsaw, doesn't actually try to add anything to the timeline. It kind of just does its own thing, and that's why I'm okay with it. Now let's do some final adjustments. I would say, obviously Saw 6 is up here. Saw 3 I would put before Saw 1. Saw 2 and 4... I think I'll put Saw 2 there. I don't think there's any adjustments that need to be made after that. I think I'll put Saw 2 in front of 4 because the pacing is so much better. And Saw 5 and Spiral, that's where they should be. Jigsaw, and then Saw 3D we're not even putting on the list. So that is my list of the Saw movies. Shank. That isn't Jigsaw, that's Kermit the Frog. Oh man, have you seen Spiral? Because that's exactly what he sounds like. It's awful. Okay. So now... Microsoft Edge is not responding. That's good to hear. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Jesus, that took 1 hour? We're gonna be here for a while. Jesus Christ. Okay. Saw franchise characters. Let's... well, hold on. Let's do this one first. This is a trap survivability tier list maker. Okay. I don't really know how to do this one. Jeez. Okay. So this trap, to survive it, that's tricky because the main character just needs to rip the skin off his back to pull a lever. That's relatively easy. But everyone else in the trap, they're like they have no say in how they survive. So I would say no chance. Also, I forgot to say in Saw 3D, I have always taken issue with the fact that Bobby Dagan's wife is punished for his sins. At the time I thought, actually for the longest time I've said that she was the only truly innocent person to die in a saw trap. Not the first truly innocent person to be in a trap, but the first one to die in a trap. But I realized that actually a lot of the Saw 6 people are innocent. And that makes me sad. So I can't use that point anymore for Saw 3D, but I will say that I still fucking hate it. I hate what they did to her. I hate... Okay, I'm done with Saw 3D. I don't fucking care anymore. Troy the Chain Man. Okay, now... some of these traps, because they were made to be unwinnable, I'm going to assume that they are winnable. Okay, I think that'll make it more interesting. Good long time. I'm loving the stream so far. Thank you. Pretend you're in the trap. Yeah, I'm trying. It's hard to put myself into some of these situations. Get out the get out the Saw 3D Word document. Oh man. Honestly, I could read that whole thing on stream probably. I could do that at the end. Maybe. Okay. So Troy the Chain Man. The idea is that you have chains hooked up to your entire body. I think he has them in his shoulder. Not the bone, just the shoulder. He has them in his biceps, I think. His Achilles tendons, and then his jaw. Now, the movie makes it very clear that he is able to get out of the chains everywhere but his jaw. And I feel like the jaw would be impossible. I feel like that would be impossible without some other force being able to pull it away from you. I liken it to pulling teeth. Sorry, that sounded weird. I liken it to when you are losing your teeth. Okay, when you're a kid, you lose your teeth. And some people, when they really want to get it out, they tie a string to it, tie the string to the door, they slam the door, it pulls it out. I don't know if anyone actually does that. I've heard about it. But I feel like you would need that kind of force in order to take the jaw out. Now, of course, this is one of the unsurvivable traps because the door was welded shut. So I would say this one is not likely. It's not no chance, but it's not likely unless you do have a way to really pull it out. I'm trying to think, like... This stream is gonna make me seem like a sociopath, probably. I mean, he's strong, so I feel like... He's strong, but the jaw probably is stronger. But I'm thinking maybe if he found something to wrap the chain of his jaw around to take all the slack off and then just like just pull himself back as hard as he possibly can, I feel like that could do it. We'll still put it in not likely. Oxygen trap, favorite of the franchise, by the way. So for William Easton okay, I guess for me, new layout and face cam. Wow, I love this. Eric, welcome in. Yes, new layout for this one. This isn't gonna stay forever. I've done that. Good point. What would like happen if the bomb went off? What the heck? I feel like you couldn't get the jaw one out in under 60 seconds. That's why it's not likely. I think that it could happen. The Achilles tendon, from what I've learned from Hostel and Saw 3, is pretty weak. But he was able to kick himself out of those. But I guess he doesn't have something to kick himself off of the jaw. I don't know, man. It's tricky. It's really tricky. I don't know. Okay. Okay, actually, now that we are... Okay, I just realized. We're supposed to be the one person. We're not supposed to be talking about the entire everyone in the trap. So thank you, Adam, for reminding me. I'm supposed to put myself in the trap. Okay. If I were in this trap, I think that I would absolutely be able to do it. I think after a certain point, the amount of pain you have, I think you can work through it, especially if you have to go towards a lever. If you have something you can pull towards, it's something that you can see as the goal, I think that will help a lot with ripping the skin off your back. Maybe getting a pizza afterwards, I don't know. So I'm going to actually put that in the maybe tier. The oxygen trap, I think this one is somewhat easy. I'm not a smoker, and I think I can already hold my breath pretty well. And looking on the outside, you can beat it with shallow breaths, because it seems like only the extreme breaths really pull the gears towards you. I think oxygen is second for me. I love the shotgun carousel. Yeah, the carousel's amazing. We'll get to that. Maybe. I don't know. We have a long fucking stream to go. I guess some of these won't take too much time, but yeah. So I'm gonna say that's somewhat easy. Reverse bear trap. I'm gonna. That's tricky. Because on the outside, it seems like, oh, if I had this thing on my head, it was survival of the fittest. There was someone on the ground, I could easily take the key. But you also have to put yourself in the mindset of Amanda has never killed anybody before. I think most of us have not killed anybody before. So the idea of taking a human life, it would be a lot more difficult. And also the amount of time, like you don't have enough time to really become a psychopath. So I'm gonna actually say maybe. That might be a little controversial. I would be dead. I'd be able to 100%. Can't relate. Woo! Just to avoid someone going to prison, I'm not gonna actually say who said that. The mausoleum trap is interesting. So if I were the person with my eyes shut, I would not be able to do this. Because how the fuck? I guess you could pull your eyes open, but I don't know. Like, do you have enough force to, like... Do you have enough, like... I don't know. If anyone here has had their eyes sewn shut, were you able to open them with your fingers? Because I feel like that would be the only way to do it. Also, I keep forgetting my camera's on, I swear. The carousel featured an actor from Family Matters, making it very jarring for my first watch. Yes. I know exactly what you mean. In fact, on House of Jigsaw, back when Saw 6 came out, that was a very popular topic. I would be dead with all because I would be nervous and faint. I can say with certainty that I couldn't if I were the eyes people. Also, no, you can't. Okay, there you go. Let me take off the glasses, make it really exciting for you. So yeah, I think if you do that, you could pull them open. But I think, so I would say no chance. I would say no chance if I were the eye person. If I were the mouth person, I would say no brainer. No pun intended, because the guy with the eyes gets his head, like, smashed open. So we'll go with no brainer, just because I want people to think that I'm really good at these traps. The glass box... Obviously, okay, at first glance I would say no-brainer. it's just a box of glass. Especially if I had a giant suit on. I mean, how much pain would that even be? I didn't. Does glass easily go through clothing? Maybe. Still, I would say it's not that bad. The issue, though, is that if I were told to trust the guy that I had been following because he's not to be trusted, that's where it would be tricky for me. I feel like I would absolutely do what Peter Strom did and pretend that I won. So I'm going to say it's not likely. I know that's controversial, too. Michael, the key in the eye is... like, the fact that it had already been cut open, I don't really understand why you can't just use the scalpel to open the wound. Because he didn't have his eye surgically have a key put in. There was an incision made under the eye. So I don't understand why you couldn't just cut open the already made incision, which is probably fresh, and just kind of dig around in there for the key. Like, I feel like that would be easy. Obviously, excruciating pain notwithstanding. I would say somewhat easy. Even though there would probably be some hesitation, but... like, Michael did not have to put the scalpel in his eye. There's no way he needed to do that. If you didn't have hindsight, if you went into it with no info... yes, exactly. Exactly. That's why I would say not likely for that trap. Are you saying that for Michael's trap, or... because I feel like the information, I mean, you would see the incision, like, right there. And I feel like if you did an incision, like, would you be able to put the key in a place where you wouldn't be able to get to it from the incision? That wouldn't make sense to me, personally. The head cube. No chance. If I had seen Saw 5, no brainer. Like, if I had seen Saw 5 before I was in the trap, no brainer. You just jam a pen into your esophagus. Kinda... oh god, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna reenact it. Ready? I don't have anything tubular. Okay, I'll use Rapunzel. Alright, so Rapunzel, she is a pen. Pretend it's a pen. So, Hoffman took everything I have, but he forgot the pen. So... the cube is... it's filling up with water, and then... anyways, I would not know how to do that, so that's no chance. Reverse bear trap 2.0. No chance. There's no way I would know. Or there's no way I would have an inkling to smash my hand repeatedly, slip it out, take the other one off, and go like... there's no way. There's no way. Hoffman was a genius in that sense. Needle pit. Oh. I don't think so. I think needle pit would be sorry, I wanted to listen to music. Chewbacca. Adam redeemed Chewbacca. Thank you for redeeming Chewbacca. Not much of a fair game / trap? No. Hoffman and Amanda's traps were not fair. So jumping into the needle pit, that's whatever. You know, what's a little tetanus? You know, is it dangerous? I know it's dangerous. Shut up. But the actual finding of the key, so I did talk about how after a certain amount of pain with this trap, after a certain amount of pain, you can just pull through it. I think this is a different kind of consistent pain where it's like a death by 1,000 cuts. With this one, it's like it's just one thing, you power through it. With this one, it's like you get stabbed like so many times in different points of your body. I think that would be really tricky and difficult to push through. But I do think that since the syringe with the key was glowing, that could make it easier. But I would still say it's not likely. Jasmine! Where's my Crispy? What's a little needle-borne illness? Exactly. That's no big deal. Did I put another one somewhere? No. Okay. This trap. It depends on at what point I did this trap. Because this is in Saw 2 when all when the nerve gas is really setting in and it's making people go a little loopy. If it were at the beginning, I would say no-brainer, because it's obvious sitting in the audience. All you have to do, put one hand in to the razor box, grab the antidote, use the other hand to push the blades up, pull the antidote out. It's that simple. But when you're in that state of mind, that lethargic, I don't know if that's the word. But in that mindset, I think while I wouldn't be maybe as stupid to just automatically go like, whoa, I do think that it's possible I would eventually do that, or not really understand, like, oh god, I can't get my hand out, no, what the fuck? And then I would put the hand up. Like, it wouldn't be an automatic, like, it would be, like, hesitation. So, I'm going to put it in maybe, because it really is kind of an average. Okay, now Deborah is interesting. I think that's her name. It depends on if the partner is able to endure the pain of the steam. I don't know. I don't know how to answer this one, because it really is predicated upon the other person being able to incur the same sort of pain. I'm going to say not likely, though. Also, steam is extremely hot and very dangerous. So, yeah, it's gonna hurt. Pound of flesh. So, whenever I watch the Pound of Flesh trap, I do think about how she is able to they're able to throw their stuff down a tube to, they're able to throw their stuff down a tube and it lands on the scale. And I don't remember exactly how long the tube is, but I feel like you could probably just stick your arm in and press down on the scale. maybe. Now, what about the other person? They'll probably try and hurt you. That's when survival of the fittest comes in, where you make sure that you have a knife with you, so that if they try to put their hand in, you just kind of, you know, like, that's how you do it. And you just, yeah. That's how I would do it. So I would say that is somewhat easy. Angel of Death Trap, no-brainer. Again, we're assuming this is a winnable version of the trap, not the unwinnable one. Putting your hand in acid is painful, but the way the bucket is hung up with the chains, it's perfect for being able to just pour. So I would absolutely just pour it out. That's it. Just like Adam just said, literally. I would just pour the acid out. Maybe still leave a little breathing room for the acid, just because, you know, I don't want to drop the key, but that is a no-brainer. Very easy. Razor wire trap. I feel like you went a little crazy on this one. There is a pathway that you can get through. The issue is that the amount of time it takes to get through. You can't go too slowly. And as we saw from Paul, you can't be too hasty either. But I would say this is a somewhat easy one, because there is a there is apparently a pathway. I don't know. The blade box trap, or whatever I call it. That's not really fair, because we don't know how many people are alive at that point. If it's just you, that's no chance. Because, again, you need 10 pints of blood to fill the beaker, and the human body has apparently 10 pints of blood, and you can survive possibly with half. That's what they say in the movie. So just with 2 people alone, it was already highly plausible that you'd die. But with the if you're alone, like, no, you can't win that. Hold on. I'll have to look at the construction of the trap, but I feel like there's glass on the top, isn't there? Or there's glass somewhere? I feel like you could pull the pound of flesh thing with this too, is if you're able to break into the box and just press your hand down into the beaker. No, I feel like there's a lot of metal involved, but even then, like, the metal... I don't know. I'm gonna say maybe on that one, actually. I'm gonna pivot. Bathroom trap... I don't know. This one's hard, because, like... You're not, like, we're not talking can you saw your foot off. No, you really... that's not... I would not think to saw my foot off. I really wouldn't. I would probably... I don't know. I don't know where to put this one. There are too many factors on that, so I'm actually going to take that out of the running, I think. The pendulum, I'm not sure why it's there twice. Pendulum, you would win. You have the key, remember? Fuck, you're right. No brainer. I actually, that's right. Thank you. I have the screen used prop from this movie, from the first film. It is the key that goes down the drain. Officially, the first prop seen in the entire franchise. And I own that. And it is amazing to me that I have that. And the light still works, by the way. I actually recently looked at it. The light looks the same. It still works, I should say. So that is true. I would be able to win. Thank you. The pendulum, again, assuming it's winnable. I think so. The idea is that you have to. I just remembered. I haven't been explaining what these traps do, have I? I guess I'll do that on the traps tier list. So on this one, you have to extend your arms out, put them into these little metal boxes, and press like a lever on both of them. And the lever, like, pushes down on your hands, I think. And I feel like that would be pretty easy, because the more it pushes down, the more you can utilize that as friction for keeping your hands in there. So I think that would be pretty easy. So I'm gonna say that. The brazen bowl, you can't win because it's already become a brazen bowl. There's no way to get out. You're chained down. Your husband's a dick. He's also a dipshit. So there's no chance. This one is sketchy because you have to crush both of your hands, so are there any restraints? Because if so, then no? What do you mean? You do have to crush both of your hands, yes. I'm confused, I apologize. This trap... Let's assume I have to pull the fish hook out. No chance. And then pendulum, I don't know why it's here twice. There's no chance, I don't think. Well, no, hold on. If I were the one pulling the fish hook out, I think that's a maybe. Because if you have someone else pulling the fish hook out... If I had crushed hands and there was something else keeping me on the table, then I couldn't? Well, he does have the restraint on his neck, but... I'm confused. Why? But the idea was that if you crush your hands, that the restraint comes off, right? Or I'm so sorry. If you are the one pulling the fish hook out of yourself, it's, I think, easier because you know, okay, so I have an idea of where it could be, and I can kind of dance it around. Once it gets hooked on something, though, you're kind of fucked. But if someone else is doing it, like Bobby had to, there's no way to know where that fish hook is. You have to really... So, I don't know. That's a maybe. And there we go. That's my survivability saw trap list. There you go. We're good. What's the alignment chart? Is this like what other people tended to put on there? Oh, no, that's just okay. Um, I have no clue. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the Saw Trap tier list. For some reason, it's in what I consider gibberish Russian. Cause I don't think these mean anything. I did try to translate one to English. B Amud Garch Chad. That's not a sentence. um but I tell you what, I'm actually gonna take a small break. I need to refresh before we do the character list. Yeah. We'll probably do this one next, and then we'll do the trap list at the end. Um, but yeah, let me take just a tiny little break. Um, okay. And then we'll... Yeah, there we go. And I'll be like right back. All right, I am back. I have a special guest. It's the bunny. Again, she's in a confinement cell for 3 weeks. So, yeah. Okay. Nope. A little higher up there. Okay. Gotta be a little to the left. and to the right. All right. Aspie. Yeah. Jasmine. Yeah. 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 Okay. That is enough of that. Okay. I am I would say refreshed and energized, but I'm really not. Maybe I'll have to break this into 2 streams. I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. Whoops. Hopefully you can. Okay, yeah. I have Billy here. Say hello, Billy. Hello, Billy. Hi. Okay. Art. Thank you. Oh, you mean art like art blank? Okay. Alright. Art blank. I don't actually know if this is going to be a good tier list. I don't have much to say about these people. I don't know, man. I don't love art. This is art blank. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I don't really have anything to say about him. He's I'm gonna say S tier because in Saw 4, Peter Strahm, one of his best lines is he is the accomplice we've been looking for, and he is your fucking lawyer. Because of that, I have art in S tier. The judge. We didn't get to see him much. But I do think that he was honorable, as judges tend to be. Bless you. Judges tend to be honorable, so that gives him points. He was understanding. He was good at trying to convince Jeff that this isn't the way. You don't have to do this. He showed Jeff, like, you know, you are accomplice to murder. So sorry. And I think he's a good guy. Like, he didn't... It's not evil what he did about sentencing Timothy Young. I would say he's A tier. Oh, Edgar. Edgar. What a piece of shit. He's D. We don't know much about him, but he was a bad actor, and you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put him in B tier. He's a shitty character, but much like Art, he is part of a line that I love, and it's when Halloran is like, Edgar, what the fuck are you doing? So I love that. That is why he is B tier. Pete Dunleavy, oh my god, he's a D for sure. Not gonna put him up because he's part of a special line or anything. Everything he does in Spiral is bullshit. I can't stand his acting. He killed an unarmed witness just because he didn't want his friends to be put on trial for being brutal, like police brutality, and he just got a real chip on his shoulder. And he has one of the worst lines in Spiral. The glass in the bottle can kill, Zeke. What a fucking dumb line. Is it really true irony if the line was written specifically, I guess that's, that's irony. But still, it's a dumb line. Like, oh, he's an alcoholic and he gets killed by glass. Great, that's really fucking deep. Like, great job, writers of the film. Which you shouldn't be watching this. Please don't unfollow me, Josh Stolberg. I still appreciate you very much, and I love that you're on my followers list. Pete Dunleavy is just a piece of shit. I hate him. Fitch is a dick. He, when Zeke called for backup, he did not go for Zeke. He did not help Zeke. He is a bad person for that. Despite doing that, he's still a dick to Zeke later on. It's dumb. I hate Fitch. Brenda, also D tier. She, despite Rig helping her, she still tried to kill him. Yes, the tape told her to, but he was trying to help her. Like, I don't know what she was doing. Like, why would you try and kill the guy that's saving you? Like, cop or not, why would you? It's stupid. Adam, so he's just a really dumb character. I'm gonna put him in D tier. I'm just kidding. He's S tier. Lee Winnell is great. I love his death scene. It's very good. He has some bangers of lines. No pun intended, but I don't care if you're hold on, what was it? I couldn't care less if you covered yourself in peanut butter and had a 15-hooker gangbang. That's a good line. He's great. I love Adam. Addison, she is... she's sassy. I think that's a good quality. I think sassy is a good quality. The eyes. And she does stick up for herself. But she did make some stupid decisions in that razor box room. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna put her in C tier. She also didn't mean much to the movie, so I'm gonna put her in C tier. Wait. Do I know this person? I think it's the guy in the lawnmower trap that you see for 2 seconds. Am I dumb? Hold on. I'm trying to see if they have his wife. Wow. I have to be honest, I think a couple of these people I actually don't know. The fuck? Oh wait, yep, that's his wife right there. Okay. D tier, what a fucking dumb trap, what a fucking dumb person. We're just gonna go ahead and put her in D tier as well. Fucking dumb trap, dumb person. No idea. I don't give a crap if you cover yourself in peanut butter and had a 15-hooker gangbang. Adam has some great lines. I can't really see the photo too well. Oh. Wait, which one? I have no clue who that is. I'm pretty sure it's the guy that was hanging, you know in Saw 3D, the lawnmower trap where this lady had to slap him and he fell, and then the blood starts squirting up in her face. She's screaming, and there's like a gnome that gets blood on his face. Stupid trap, stupid people, no consequence to the entire franchise, just a fucking shit show. That's what Saw 3D should be called. It's Saw 3D, the shit show. This guy is nice. I actually felt very bad when he died. He's nice, although he did get very sassy at the end when he found out that he died. He got kind of sassy. I know I said sassy was a good thing, but in his case, it was mean. I didn't like it. Oh. Lynn Denlin. Well, I love her. I don't know what to say. I love her. I thought that she did, just like Judge Holden, she did a good job of trying to delegate, trying to be diplomatic, try and coax Amanda to let her and John go to the hospital for better tools. She was smart, I thought, and she just seems like a nice person. And it was very sad that she died. Bobby Dagan goes into the D tier, which D stands in this case for Dick. Actually, for him and him as well. He was a piece of shit, you know. It was kind of a smart idea to try and do a book on the Saw Trap you weren't actually a part of. But up until the point when Jigsaw finds out and you're like, ah, shit, maybe I shouldn't have written that book and lied to everyone. But I'm actually going to put him in C tier, because by the end of his character arc, when he is face to face with his wife, due to his horrible decisions, he does seem like he's learned a lesson, and he does even say, like, I'm gonna make this right, you know? And I think that actually adds a bit more dimension to him and shows that he has learned something. Yeah. So that's what I have to say. Brad, I think, is this one. Saw 3D, love Triangle Trap. The very beginning of the misogyny of Saw 3D. He's just bad. I don't have much to say about him. Shit. I don't know the names of some of these characters. I don't remember the names of any of the Saw 5 people except for the Saw 5, like 5 is one trap, except for Malik. That's it. Pretty sure. So she tried to be smart. She did try to be smart in the movie. She tried to say, like, oh, you know, let's grab these keys just in case, blah, blah, blah. She was convicted in the way she carried herself. And while she does seem like she doesn't have the most ethics of anyone in the franchise, I still think that deep down she's a good person. And she's played by Julie Benz, who also plays Dexter's wife in Dexter, and so that automatically gives her bonus +1 tier. I don't know why I'm talking over here. This is what I usually do when I talk without a camera, because I you know, the microphone is you guys. Hopefully that's not bothering anyone. Cabe, he helped bring Bobby Dagan's idea to life, and he's just a shyster. I don't like him. But he did try his best in that trap. He tried to grab onto the key. because that was a great idea. You know, throw the key over the pit of nothingness to the guy that can't see. Surely he'll catch it. But he didn't, because he's stupid. D tier. Fuck off. This one, I'm trying to figure out who this one is. Hold on. Who is this? Okay, we're gonna ignore the people that we don't know. Who are they? For a little bit. Like, who the fuck is that? Oh, I know who this is. I do know who this is. Okay. So she is from Jigsaw. Did I hear Mommy Dagan? No. No, you didn't hear Mommy Dagan. I think... Okay. She is a piece of shit. She stood there... for some reason, John Kramer knows this, but she stood there watching someone she just pickpocketed die, and ended up it was just $3.57, I think. Now, I'm not saying that because it was such a paltry amount that she's an asshole. Like, oh, if the person died but she got like $1,000, like, oh, that's fine. She's I would say that's B tier. Yeah, sure. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just giving context. And she doesn't seem to have much remorse for what she did, so I'm gonna put her in D tier. Cecil. Oh, Cecil. Cecil. Sunny. He might actually be the king of the dickbags. He really could be. He is the reason that Jill miscarried. That right there is awful. And he's an asshole. Even when he was in that trap, he was an asshole. Now, I know it's written that Amanda did push him to get the drugs. That's why he was pushing so badly to get into the clinic. And then that led to the miscarriage. So Amanda is complicit in that as well. But Cecil's the one that did it. He's an asshole. He doesn't deserve. He's an asshole. Sunny. That was rough. Yeah, it was. Danica, Saw 3. We call her the Popsicle Lady. She doesn't deserve what she got. I don't think at all. The idea is that she witnessed Timothy Young run over, I actually forget the son's name, but Jeff's son runs over him. Not Daniel. Is it Daniel? I don't know. She is being tested because she froze. She didn't do anything to help put Timothy away, but I feel like that's not worth what she was given. I do think that you should have a certain amount of guilt for that, but I don't think it was reasonable for her to have this happen to her. That being said, I think that she as a character was not major enough that we should put her in A tier. Then again, Judge Holden isn't either. I'm still gonna say B tier. I'm gonna say B. Dylan, thank you. Wasn't she just a witness? Yes, exactly. You know what? That reminds me. I'll just put her back in A tier. Frozen Lady. Dylan, thank you. God, I'm so sorry. I'm starting to wonder if I'm actually a Saw fan at all. I really am. Like, why wouldn't I know things? It's crazy. Brenda, she is sassy, which I'm starting to realize I dug myself into a hole with calling Addison sassy and saying that was a good attribute. She's sassy while she's in the trap. She was manipulative in the trap. And I just don't like her very much. So we're gonna put her in C tier. D tier, I mean. We're gonna put Cecil up at the top, by the way. I want everyone to know that he's horrible. This guy was the drug dealer that Amanda had to cut open to get the key to her freedom. Fake fan, I'm sorry. Maybe I should end this stream. I'm so sorry. I don't deserve to be doing this. I'm so sorry. There's not really much of consequence to say about him. He wasn't in the movie barely at all. He was... The only claim to fame he has is that he's part of one of the most iconic traps of the franchise. I'll put him in C tier. I would otherwise put him in D tier. Peter Strahm is S tier. Get the fuck out. Why did I put Art there again? Oh, he is your fucking lawyer. That's right. Peter Strahm is the best character of the franchise, hands down. He's very confident. He's very hot-headed, but he gets the job done. He is so on point. He's very intense, but he gets it done. He gets his questions answered, and he actually gets close to Hoffman. He almost won. SB! It's mine, yeah. Yes, man. You like that one quote? Yes. Peter Strahm is amazing. I also love the way he talks, the way he carries himself. He's very powerful. I would love to be in the interrogation room when he's interrogating me, because, oh man, it's intense, and it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot. Yep. William Easton starts at a D. Starts at a D because, again, he has no concept of what he's doing to these people, what he's doing to these humans. But as the movie goes on, he starts to realize the errors of his ways. I would put him in S tier for sure. He is a really good character, probably one of the best developed, not protagonists. I don't know what you call these people. One of the best mid-tagonists, most well-developed ones of the franchise. He's fantastic and very well acted. Roderick is a D. I don't like his... Never mind. Just kidding. I don't like that everyone calls him Roderick. Now that's all I can think of, so Roderick it is. He is a hothead, but in a way that killed an S tier character. He's a D for sure. Halloran is... He's mean. He's very presumptuous. He says some really weird things to Eleanor. But he has that line. The fuck you doing, Edgar? That makes him B tier. This guy is complicated. His voice, S tier. The way he says things, his charisma is great. Lovely. Him as a character, his personality, he's not nice. He's a bad character. It is very hot, thank you, yes. He's mean. I don't know. I don't like him. Dr. Gordon, iconic. He is iconic. I don't know. I don't know if I'm really saying much about these characters. Dr. Gordon is intelligent. He did attempt to cheat on his wife, which was bad, obviously. He wasn't there for his daughter, usually. He was not present for her. That puts him in A tier. It drops him from S tier. I'm counting their sins up and kind of moving them appropriately. And I don't like how he tried to kill Adam. In fact, he shot Adam. But he did cut his foot off to try and get to his family. And he did hug Adam and say that everything will be okay. He did not go back for Adam. Fuck, that's a really good point. That's a good point. He did promise that things would be okay, but he did not go back for Adam, which that's a D offense. But cutting his foot off was pretty good. That's a plus 3 tiers. So 1, 2, 3. I think that worked. Also, he has that line about something about how grateful we are to be part of your promotional DVD. Takes his cane and walks away. Which puts him in S tier. Xavier. This one's going to be controversial. He's a really mean guy, but he gets the job done, just like Peter Strahm. He is determined. And in Saw 2, during the Razorbox trap, the woman that played Addison, Emmanuelle Vaugier, she had just gotten a perm, and Frankie G, the guy that plays Xavier, respected her wishes by not going too crazy with the hair. He didn't aggressively pull it forwards or anything. He just gently pulled it because that's what she wanted. She wanted it because it was a perm, and I guess that's how perms work. I don't know. I don't know anything about perms, but that was very nice. He has a very strong presence as a character, though. He's a crucial part of Saw 2. He was mean. He threw Amanda into the pit. He tried to kill Amanda and Daniel. But he was determined enough to cut off a piece of his own neck. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Stop the lies! You're a liar! Great quote from Dr. Gordon. If there was an S plus tier, we would put him there because of that. I'm not dying for you, bitch! That's all you need to know. Eric. S tier. He is a good character. That went through hell and back. You know, originally I thought he did learn his lesson. He kind of gives me Shining vibes. Xavier does. Yeah. Actually, 100%. I think even the part when he's throwing the axe into the not an exit door. I think that might have been an homage of sorts to The Shining. So Eric takes part in police brutality. That's not nice. He's not there for his son. That's also not nice. But he gave us some very crucial developments for John Kramer as a character, as a person. Because of that interview that they both have at Jigsaw's Lair, he we learn a lot about John Kramer that we probably wouldn't have learned otherwise, except that all the flashbacks had. What, it doesn't matter, okay? At the time, it brought us some very interesting nuggets of information. And you can tell that he does miss his son. He wants to get through this for him. Unfortunately, he does give in to that police brutality core of himself. And further, he tries to kill Amanda. In the same brutal way that got him there in the first place. But in Saw 4, he is pushed to his limit. He's psychologically tortured to the point that he's just given up. And I think for that reason, I'm going to put him in A tier. I think he's a good person at heart that got put through so much shit. Corrupt cop, framed many people, sucks, bad father. I, of course, have my own opinions. That's almost the crazy goosey emote. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, as a person, he's done some horrible things, but I think that he was done very dirty. Racist. Shawnee Smith. I mean, Amanda. S tier. I mean, yes, she took John's philosophy and twisted it in a way that was completely against what he actually believed in, right? She made the traps unwinnable. She became very jealous. She was the reason that Cecil went in, and eventually Jill lost John and her child. But she is iconic. She's amazing in Saw 3. She cared for Daniel. Now, she did technically kill Adam. Not just technically, she literally killed Adam, which would normally be enough to put her in B tier. But she's Amanda. She is critic proof. She's S tier. This woman, I think she's the one that says, "I'm pregnant!" And then the other guy's like, "No, she's not!" I don't like her. Gus. Very hot-headed. Punched that other guy in the clinic. Who's coming through the door? Who's coming through the door? So Gus, he was there based on director commentary and stuff. He was there because he was an embezzler. He was a businessman that embezzled funds. So that's not nice, you know? You're taking money away from your company. I don't know. But he was part of a very iconic moment in the franchise. The keyhole, or the peephole door gun. So that to me says he should be B tier still, because he's not really much of consequence. But here's the thing. Tony Nappo plays the dad in Zombies 2 and Zombies 1. But I'm not gonna put him there because of that. We need more people in the B tier. Debbie, I think is her name. She really worked through the pain of the steam hitting her. Which I would say good. And she's good at her job. You know? She had a little empathy when she was like, whoa, easy there. You think they lied on purpose? You know, like, she was talking to William Easton about that, and so she has empathy. And At the end, though, she does try to kill William because he has the key in his side to open her cattle prod thing. And she does try to kill him, but I think that given the circumstances, that's perfectly reasonable to try and kill him. So I'm going to put her in B tier. Zeke. I think he's a great new addition to the franchise. He's a good character. Probably the only cop on the force that actually has a heart, that actually wants to do the right thing. He's beaten down by all the other cops at the facility just because he turned in a dirty cop. He risked his job, he risked his life to put away Dunleavy because he noticed that police brutality. And that takes so much courage. He's also got some bangers of lines, like you can get a lot of dick in before dusk. I'm gonna put him in S tier. I think he's a very good person, and he cared about despite everyone at the force being so mean to him, he actually did seem to care about some of them. Most surprisingly, he cared about Pete. He yelled, "Pete!" Like, he yelled it as if he was sad that Pete didn't live. He forgave him. I would say he's S tier. Nina wouldn't shut the fuck up. But she's in Zombies as the principal, so we'll put her in C tier. Ivan, I'm not going to talk about what he did, but what he did was horrible. Yes, he seemed to gain empathy. I don't really know if he was trying to if he was just trying not to die. I feel like he legitimately did feel bad for what he did, because he did say it was a long time ago. But what he did was horrible and unforgivable. He is D tier for sure. It broke my heart, but I agree. I'm so sorry. I think I forgot to read that one out loud. You're talking about Amanda killing Adam. Not forgiven in the Jeff way, though. No, definitely not. Unforgivable. Yeah, he's. Ugh. Okay. Anyways, Jeff, or as Dead Meat on YouTube has popularized, slow ass motherfucking Jeff. I mean, I can really put myself in his shoes. He's mad. He's angry. That the person that took his child away from him isn't being punished the way that he believes he should be punished. And I think that it was a very crucial character moment each time he forgave those people. At the last second, admittedly, but forgave those people in the traps. I think that was important, and I think it was a huge step in his development that he was able to let go of all of those belongings that reminded him of Dylan, including that pig, which he cherished. That scene always gets to me, and I think that's so crucial and so effective. That being said, he did give in to his rage. He didn't learn anything, just like John Kramer says. It's like, you haven't learned anything tonight, have you, Jeff? And so that's not good. It definitely knocks him down a peg. And I'm gonna say, well, okay, all of this I would say makes him A tier, but him giving into his vengeance, set your vengeance aside. Sorry. setting his vengeance, or sorry, Jesus Christ, giving into his vengeance by killing Amanda, um, and then ultimately also saying I forgive you, just like Adam was talking about. uh, I forgive you, putting his hand on John's chest. He pulls out the handsaw and it's like whoosh. Yeah. uh, I really want to put him in C tier. I do, but I like him. I actually like him. Jeff the drill chair, man, like, what? Shut the fuck up. I think that's Anna? Is this Anna? I think so. I think that's a picture from the silo, the grain silo trap. Um, you know, she's horrible. She suffocated her own baby because the baby wouldn't be quiet, and that's not. It's that's horrible. So, and not only that, she blamed it on her husband, who then died at a facility. Uh, she's a horrible person. I would put her in the same tier as Ivan. I really would. Um, in fact, you know what? I know I said Cecil is the king of the dicks, but king of the D's, nuts. But I think that Ivan and Anna are both. They're Cecil was a dick, but the Jill thing, the miscarriage, wasn't. That wasn't something he intended to do. Whereas these people intended to do those horrible things. Thus, absolutely D tier. I hate them. This is the last man standing on the carousel trap. Or sorry. Well, last man standing. He... You could tell he was heartbroken when he was saying a lot of mean stuff, but that's because he was trying to process that emotion of knowing he was not spared. And so I don't put it against him in this case. And you can tell he's so scared. You really see that human side of him when he's shaking. His breathing is shaking. He's like kind of shuddering, like he's crying. You can tell he has this human side and he is scared. I would put him in B tier. Being part of the carousel trap also helps a lot. It is Anna. I hated him. You look at me when you're killing me. Or whatever. Yeah, I don't love him as a character, but I think that he's a good person deep down. Racist. Carrie. S tier, for sure. She didn't deserve what happened to her at all. She was just one in a long line of cops that was just doing her job. I feel like she didn't do anything that really warranted a jigsaw trap. You know, usually a jigsaw trap is something like, oh, you stole kibbles from a puppy down the street, and then that puppy turned to a life of crime. But this is like, you were doing your job, you sack of shit. You deserve to die for that. She didn't deserve that. I think that she's a very good character. I think she's a kind woman. She's a great person. I don't agree with what happened to her at all. I love that trap. The Angel of Death trap? Logan Nelson. He is the apprentice we never asked for. automatically we should put him in the D tier. But I actually kind of like him. I think that he did a good job of acting like he had nothing to do with any of this stuff at first. He was smart, a little too smart, and I really love his monologue. His monologue near the end of the film is awesome. I forgot to say that when we were talking about the movies, but I actually do love the last 10 or so minutes of Jigsaw. That's when it really does feel like a Saw movie. And I don't know. I like him. He also looks a lot like Dexter, so that gives him points too. Ugh, Logan. I know. I like him. I don't know. I like him. Trying to figure out who the fuck is this? Okay. Oh, wait. I think these two are the decoys from Jigsaw. You know, Logan took people that looked similar to the ones that had died 10, 15 years ago. I think that's what these three are. Honestly, let's just kick it out of the way right now. We know literally nothing about them. Why are they even on this list? I don't know. Okay, we got Boz. He lied on the stand in court. He has a terrible fashion sense that makes it look like he's stuck in the 50s. He has a terrible line circling his gun around the manhole, and he's like, "You did not just go down there." And lest we forget his absurdly blatant reaction shot where just randomly we get a shot of him going like, I don't know how to explain it. It looks so bad. Anyways, I would say he's C tier. Michael, he's part of a very iconic trap. Emphasis on I. And this makes me sound like a sociopath, but I love his yell. You know, the "help me!" It's a very good yell of agony. So I'm going to put him in A tier, I think. Mitch, super hot. Like, super hot. Iconic. Yeah. Super hot. Abercrombie and Fitch model. Beautiful human. In terms of characters, so stupid. So stupid. You're descending down to a lever while a giant spiral is about to cut you into ribbons. And then Anna, she stops the motorcycle, and you're just saying like, "Oh, let's celebrate. You did it. Oh my god." And you're not even trying to grab the lever. You fucking idiot. You absolute knob. Okay? But because you're hot, you're going to be put in B tier. Joyce, she's just a bastion of purity and innocence in the Saw franchise. She's a symbol of hope, and how that hope can be burned to a crisp because of one goddamn atrocity of a film full of misogynistic motherfuckers. Oh my god. Okay. So is Adam. Oh, so is Adam. He has a nice yell as well, like when Dr. Gorn is sawing his foot. That's true. That is how I did my ratings, and people did not agree. I'm sorry. I don't remember her name, but she's from Saw 4. She's in the classroom trap. Her husband was abusive towards her, but she turned a blind eye to the abuse that was happening to her daughter. That's why she's in the trap, but her trap is that she has to pull rods. So, okay, here, let me explain this with my dolls. Okay. So, here we go. Here is her, sorry. Here's her. Here's the husband. She has rods going through her, and those rods are sticking through him, right? But the rods through her are in parts that aren't, like, what are they called? Crucial arteries? I don't know. They're not life-threatening injuries if she were to pull them out. Her husband, however, the one that was abusive, the rods are going through very important arteries on himself. So when she pulls them out, he will die. So that is a great trap. But anyways, we're not talking about the trap. We're talking about the lady. Her acting is terrible. Vital. Thank you. Thank you. She knew about the daughter? Yeah, exactly. Vital. Yes. So her acting is terrible. And yes, as a character, she did nothing about the abuse. This might be controversial, though. There are so many times you hear about people in abusive relationships that don't do anything, and then people wonder, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do anything about it? And I think I can't really put myself in the mindset of that. I don't want to hold it against her as badly as on the surface. Oh, she ignored the abuse that was happening to her daughter. Okay, that sounds horrible, and it is horrible. But given the context that she was also suffering at the hands of her husband, I do not think she should be punished as badly with that context. I will put her in C tier. Pamela, listen. She's really pretty. And I love Pamela. I love her hair. And I think that while she didn't die, she did kind of get the short end of the stick by being related to William Easton. But she was just doing her job. She was reporting. However, I know that reporting can get a little unscrupulous at times. And she got a little bit too close. And that's why we would normally put her in B tier. But she's really pretty, so we're putting her in S tier. I'm sorry. I have to do it. I was trying not to, but we have to do it. Paul, I don't have anything to say about him due to things, but I think that he was going through a bad time and he was punished for that, and I think that that's not nice. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. Lindsay Perez, S tier. She's Peter Strom's partner. And she helped catch Hoffman. It didn't work, but she helped catch him. And I think she knows her way around the police force. She knows her way around an investigation. There's really nothing about her I think is a flaw. She's amazing. Apparently, and I've heard this from an unnamed source, Reddit, You aren't supposed to rate people based on looks. They do not approve. But Reddit people suck, so screw them. Reddit people do suck. I know, I've been trying not to base it on looks, but there are a couple exceptions. Okay, and this is the abusive father we were just talking about, with her trap. This is the abusive father. Nothing else can be said. He's a horrible person. Rig, S tier. Again, just doing his investigation, doing the right thing, trying to get Jigsaw, trying to do his job, and getting punished for it. Yes, there's the whole thing about, oh, you're obsessed with trying to find Jigsaw, you're neglecting your home duties, you're neglecting your family, you're letting the investigation consume you, you're letting the idea of Eric still being alive consume your entire life. But that's not a reason to put him in a trap. That's not a reason to test him. And they're taking advantage of his desire to see Eric again, his very close friend. I do not agree with how they handled, or I don't agree with how Jigsaw tried to test Rig. So I am putting him in S tier because he's an amazing character. He's an amazing character. I don't know what to say. I love him. Okay, so I would normally put him down here, but honestly, I'm putting him in A tier. He's too much of an asshole to be put in S tier, but he has one of the best lines of the franchise. I repeat, or sorry, repeat it with me. I think we're breaking up with you, Dina. Perfection. A tier dialogue right there. I changed my pronouns to he, them. Oh, well, thank you for letting us know. I appreciate that. I know how important it is to have your pronouns respected, so thank you for letting me know. Okay, now her. I don't remember what she did. She wasn't in Saw 5 for long. But off the top of my head, I don't remember what she did. She did seem very scared, which is natural, obviously, but I feel like we didn't get to know her enough to put her anywhere, for any reason. So we're just gonna put her in the B tier. I think she was asking a lot of good questions for the 7 seconds that she was alive, and that makes her somewhat important, so we're gonna keep her there. Racist. Racist? I think that covers all the racists, actually, thank God. I don't know much about her. I know she did that. She took part in the con. She took part in the con with Bobby Dagan, was instrumental in like the PR movement and everything. She helped disseminate the information, send it all over, and thus spread the lie as far as possible. Sorry, I brushed you with my finger. And I think that's pretty bad, being complicit in that way. So I'm gonna put her in C tier. I don't think she's a horrible person, though. I would not put her in D tier. We don't know anything about. I don't know. Honestly, when they were being interviewed, it felt like they were lying as well. So I'm gonna assume that's true and put her in D tier. Can't stand her. Mark, he got punished for taking time off work that he didn't actually need. He played hooky, essentially, and he's getting punished for it. Like, what the fuck? But he doesn't seem like a good person. And his trap was actually terrible. But that shouldn't really factor in this case. But he's also... Like, why even... He's dumb. I don't like him. Okay, now the carousel characters, I don't know what to do about them. I'm gonna put them in C for carousel. Aside from... Oh, never mind. No, all of them are in there. I'm sorry, I don't have much to say about them. Actually... Okay, I don't even remember this guy. Okay, so William Easton actually did help her survive. He chose to let her live. So I'm assuming there's something about her we don't know. We're gonna put her up there. And then he seems like a nice guy that got roped into a bad situation as well. And it seems like he and William Easton have a rapport. So I think we're gonna put him in A tier as well. Daniel did not deserve what he got. He's a good person. You can tell his personality really shines in the Saw 2 house. He is, he's a good person. He has empathy. He helps Laura. He's like, we're gonna get out of here, I promise, or something. I don't know. And when he finds out that his dad is actually the one that put away everybody by planting evidence and everything, you can tell he feels remorseful. You should never feel remorseful for something someone else in your family did. So I think that means he is highly empathetic, and I am going to put him in S tier. Jonas... He's nice. He's reasonable. He brings everyone together. But I mean, I don't know. I love the stream, thank you. Yeah. I'll put him in A tier. Because he is nice. It feels like he's the nicest person in that house except for Daniel. Laura really didn't do much. In fact, she's the one that pointed out the X marks the spot thing on the photo that ended up getting Xavier to go after Amanda and Daniel. So we're putting you in D tier. Sorry. S tier, D tier. My bad. Abby. It's my name. I mean, he was daring. He was courageous to really push himself into that furnace and grab those antidotes. And, actually, I was going to say he went for the antidote that would help the others first, and then he went for his own. That's not true. He actually did the opposite, just like a selfish person would. So he's C tier. I don't remember her name. She is the accountant, I think, in Saw 6. I know who she is. I'm just trying to remember her job title. But she seems like a really sweet lady that has a family that seems to love her, and very innocent. She's one of the more innocent people that have been put in traps. So, A tier. Hank, Again, a good person roped into a bad situation. Yes, he made some bad decisions, but they're not, I don't think they're worth being in a trap. So, but we also don't know much about him. But he is part of my favorite trap. We're gonna put him in C tier. Uh, I love her actually. Um, I love her, especially when she says "survival of the fittest," my ass. So I'm gonna put her in S tier. Except that that's stupid, so I'll probably. We're gonna put her in A tier. I think that makes more sense. I don't know why I'd put her in S tier. Malik was determined and really put his all into getting those pints of blood into the beaker to open the door. He went all in, and I think while at first he's not the most while he's not the best character at first, I think as Saw 5 goes on, he becomes more tolerable, and I would say I even like him quite a bit. She goes carousel, sorry. D tier, cannot stand Simone. She's terrible. She has some horrible lines. You know the best thing about cutting off my own arm is handicap parking at the damn mall. D tier. Captain Garza, come on. S tier. I love her. She's beautiful, yes, but she's also a good captain. She's confident. She might not have deserved to have the precinct, her own precinct at 35, but I feel like she does a good job of running it despite that. I think that she is a very good cop. And she does try to get out of her trap. You can see she's cutting, the neck. She's really trying. But, despite the fact that she'd probably be dead anyways if she got out of the trap, or a vegetable. But she still tried. And I think that is S tier worthy, even if she is someone that facilitated Article 8, I think was what it was called. Marcus Banks, Zeke's father, he spearheaded the Article 8 stuff, the thing that he spearheaded Article 8, which allowed police to be as carefree as they want when trying to come to a conviction or killing civilians. That in itself is D tier worthy. But nope, just D tier. I'm just kidding. I actually do like him. The line about, "You want to play games, motherfucker?" It's a great line. That bumps him up to C tier. And he has one of the most emotionally affecting endings of the whole series. His acting is fantastic. And he knows he's going to die, but he still tells Zeke, like, he's getting away. He wants Zeke to go after the ultimate evil. I don't know. That got a little pretentious, but I like Marcus Banks. I do think in other circumstances he would be a D, but because of his line and because of his selflessness at the end, and the situation he was put in, even though that was meant to be like the situation that the cops put these other people in, I think he's B tier. Oh, Tara, Saw 6. Absolutely S tier. She forgave William Easton. She was going to not forgive him, But she did. She ended up forgiving him, and that, I think, is an excellent thing. That's an excellent character trait. She was put up against the guy that is, implicitly killed her husband, and she still forgave him. That shows she has a heart, and she's nice, and she asked the right questions as well. Timothy Young, drunk driver, killed Jeff's son. Bad. That's a bad person, but he did not deserve the brutality of this trap. I would give it a B. Or put him in B tier. This guy, I mean, we don't know much about him. He just starts throwing mallets at people. Stupid. Troy the Chain Man, iconic trap from Saw 3, but we don't really get to know him much. But for some reason, I'm still feeling a C rank, though. Zep is a dumb character. He's a dumb character. He's iconic. Like, he's dumb, but he's iconic. As he was in the first film, he was the first pawn we've ever seen. For that reason, I think he should be bumped up to C tier. But he's so creepy. Well, he's like, his name is John. Very interesting person. And killing his supervising doctor's wife and kid, like, that's what he was going to do. Killing his doctor. I don't know. He's not a good guy. I know he was put in that position, but he's a bad person. I don't like him. Ryan, I think is this guy's name. At first, definitely a D. No, I know, honey. I know. At first, he's a D. He has some terrible lines, like, it's not creepy at all. But I think by the end... No. Esme. Stop. Please. She's trying to climb the cage. That's not good. He starts bad. Cringy lines. But he actually seems nice and caring at the very end. So I'm going to put him in C tier. Seth Baxter killed Hoffman's sister. Basically started Hoffman on a life of crime. He does have some... I think he has a racist marking on his chest, actually. D tier, racist. Mark Hoffman. This one's going to be complicated. Oh, this one's going to be complicated. Because he has a very complicated character arc. He seems to, at first, respect John Kramer's philosophy with traps. He seems to do what he's asked of him. He is a great apprentice to John Kramer while John Kramer's alive. After John Kramer dies, Hoffman kind of goes off the deep end a little bit. And so I would put him in S tier at first. But then he goes off the deep end and becomes basically just a senseless murderer. Then he kills Jill. and Perez and Erickson. I mean, he kills them in Saw 6, but then he kills Jill in a pretty horrifying way. But it's undeniable the survival instinct he has is undeniable. He doesn't let anything stop him. That's why his nickname is the Hoffmanator. He is unstoppable. So I think he is an A-tier character. That is my opinion. So here is my tier list for the characters of the Saw franchise. I'm now going to try and save my image. I don't know what yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, we got it. Yeah, so that's my tier list. I won't be reordering them within the tiers, but yeah, hopefully these reasonings were sound. I know a couple of them were a little controversial, but yeah. I'm happy with this list. You know what? Never mind. Mitch, you're going down to D tier because you're a fucking idiot. And yeah, I think that's it. There we go. I'm done. We finished. I don't think I'll be able to do the traps. I don't think I'll be able to do the trap tier list yet. I'm gonna have to head out, I think, because Espy's getting a little restless. I think I need to start looking after her a little more attentively. But we might actually come back to play some Forza Horizon 5 later. But yeah, I think... Let me save this to my bookmarks. Yeah, okay. Okay. I think it did it. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. I think that's gonna be it for me, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. I think that this was something that a lot of people were asking for. I'm just kidding, nobody asked for this, but I thought it would be fun anyways. And I did have fun. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you to Adam for the subscription. I appreciate it so much. Also, I forgot last time to thank Jugnal and Jedi Ash for the subscriptions last time. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think we're gonna head out now, but hopefully you guys had fun. And hopefully I have proven that I am a big Saw fan. Even if I might not be a good one. I'm still big. I'm a big Saw fan. It's my favorite franchise, and hopefully that showed through relatively blatantly today. I'm just kidding. I know I'm an amazing Saw fan. I'm not even, oh, fuck off. I am an amazing Saw fan. I'm the best Saw fan. I'm a bigger Saw fan than anyone in the world. I'm the fucking best. Okay, now that's too much. I went a little too much in the opposite direction. I try not to be I try not to be overly critical of myself, but I think I went into the opposite, like more boastful direction. I don't like that so much. So we'll go back to I am not a Saw fan. I don't know anything about the movies. I've only seen them maybe once each. I might have skipped one even. I don't think I ever saw Saw 3. I don't know. It's weird. I don't even know why I did this tier list. Jasmine! Jasmine, yeah! Jasmine! Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming in. I hope you all have an excellent day or night wherever you are in the world. And I will let this song play out, I think. Will I? No. Wait. Yeah. No. No. We're gonna just head out. There we go. Okay. I hope you all have an excellent day or night wherever you are in the world. I'll see you later. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 pa. Oh god. Oh fuck. Oh Jesus Christ. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh man. Okay, I don't know how this looks. I actually can't see the camera, and oh my god, my nose. I think this is how you turn into Voldemort. Maybe that's what he did to get his nose this way. He just put two masks on top of each other. Oh yeah. My nose is smashing. Like literally, I think it might be injured. I think it just inverted on itself. That's kind of scary. I have to look through the eyes to see. Do I know where's the mouse? Oh, there it is. I found the mouse. Okay. I think that's it. I hope I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Or day wherever you are in the world, and we might be back for Forza Horizon. I don't know for sure. Why am I talking to the camera when you guys are over here, actually? Okay. I'll see you later. Have a... Jesus Christ. Bye.